talked about he kind of had his little run.
Yeah.
I don't know that they're going to go for that. What's weird for me is this BNK roster has been making a lot of changes lately, and it just seems like they can't quite settle on that 5 that they want. You know, you've got the core of Brace, Addict, Hazza, and it seems like Damio slotted in really nicely after they were sort of experimenting a bit with hats, but now it's like, okay, another change. But all that said and done, enough talk. It's time to get into the game.
Maybe you just get hats back.
As the AWPer?
I just don't even... Like, I think this is a bit of a Lin Vision situation going on right now. Anyway, I want to give this game the benefit of the doubt, because I reckon Arcade's the kind of team that will rock up to a game like this and actually have a game plan and try to win. So I'm really intrigued to see what they're going to put together here. It looks like they're preparing themselves for a little uppers here with a rat smoke on heaven.
Yeah, Molly's going to be tickling the feet of Addict, and he's not too bothered by that. He'll get himself just the one. Your Wombat, he's welcoming himself back into the server with a nice 3k on the pistol, so no harm, no foul at all. 5+. Ooh, actually on for the clutch right here, spamming away with that Glock, needs to hit the head. Hasn't been able to do so, and Brace is definitely not shying away from that fight, so ends up being a pistol round for BNK, although a little bit closer than anticipated.
A lot of body shots going on there, with edges being showcased. But after all said and done, no bomb plant there for Arcade. Could see our hero AK dropped over by Triplus or just a Deagle investment. Very winnable pistol there for Arcade. Bit of a missed opportunity early on, I think, especially in a BO1, MR12 against a better team. You want to be getting those pistols, min-max and things. Just going to see the full echo here for Arcade. Triplus has lost the Deagle outside already. I agree with you. I think for BNK, the rifling core of this team is pretty solid. Like, I would say pretty decent, even at a, like, tier, I don't know, what would you say? Like a tier 3 level in Europe or something? You could probably put Damio, Hazza, Addict in the server and they'd get their numbers, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
They'd be fine. Like, they wouldn't be crazy outstanding. They're not, like, farming and pushing up into tier 2 or anything, but... Like, they are decent CS players. And, you know, Brace definitely tries tries to have a good approach to CS. You know, we don't have many very good IGLs in odds, and I'd say Brace is a pretty decent one, so he kind of justifies his position as well. Just don't know what you do about a 5th, really.
Yeah. Import a European AWPer, how about that?
Well, I would say why not just get rid of the whole team and have 5 euros, but that's just me as an Australian. Oh, it's nice to see the players that play with left-handed models. You can see that now.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
That's actually big that he hasn't got burnt by that molly. That's probably going to be a freebie for Addict here.
Yeah, they were too far away to hear it. The pop is just going to come through anyway, so...
Beautiful.
Good due diligence being done by Arcade.
That's what I'm saying about Arcade, though. Like, there is not many teams who would do that, like, layered utility well, but they are clearly trying. They've rocked up to this game. They've got good protocols. They're working the map quite well. Unfortunately, they're still probably going to end up in a deficit in this round unless Kobe can do something really nice on low HP. Unfortunately, can't, so it's going to be down to this lobby contact for the Arcade boys, which could still work out.
Harry Potter has found the entry onto the A-bomb site.
I think that's probably Void. Yes, it is Void.
Well, Hazza's up the vent. He's cleared all that out. And Arcade haven't really been able to get off of the site. The exception of Harry Potter under the cupboard in the hut. But it is looking pretty good for Arcade here to pick up their first round on the T side of Nuke. Damio, he is a bit of a clutch minister at times, but not this one. Sfogus will catch him on the timing, and that is going to be the first one on the board. So, nice early inroads being made by Arcade.
Let's put a fair bit of pressure on the CT economy. BNK will reply with a buy here. A chance now for Arcade to reset. These are the rounds that you've got to take hold of with both hands and make sure you're closing them as an underdog on the T side here. This is probably one of the most critical rounds of this whole game. They can reset at CT economy nice and early on. They're going to get rolling on the T side, get some confidence going. Sprinting straight into upper here. Great entry there by Foggers, and the flashes are layered quite nicely to put pressure on the CTs. They're trying to flood and defend the site, but they find themselves at a numbers deficit, and Brace gets shut out of heaven. A smoke to Annex as well. This is really great util for Arcade to get comfy in the site.
It's got to be safe territory for BNK. They're just completely locked out. I mean, the Molotov again up into heaven, and obviously that second smoke into Annex would mean BNK don't even have a way into that site, even if they wanted to. So, opting to just take the weapons through to the next round, and sort of as expected, actually, this matchup so far. You know, you see that pistol, and BNK are able to win that, and the expectation will very much still be that they do win this game, but Arcade are not putting up a bad showing of their own. It has to be said, first couple of gun rounds do go their way, and that is nice to see that they're able to put a bit of pressure on BNK.
There's a lot of guns there. Attic goes down 1 for 2, which is probably still fine for Arcade. I think you throw 2 guns at that rifle there and you're fine with it. Getting traded by the bomb radius. Brace, Hero, M4, but the rest of them on a single save here into a probably pretty unremarkable buy. Arcade's going to be quite happy about how this T side is going. This is the kind of things that they need to be doing to cause an upset tonight, and they're looking, you know, pretty switched on, pretty well drilled. Like, these are the kind of teams that we like to see in Oceania. You know, we were talking a little while about, Vantage and how they were looking like a pretty well drilled team. Straight into Ramper and Doe, anti-eco. Apoc Dud's going to get a bit of a, well, try to get a bit of a farm on. At the end of the day, though, even though he's not really able to mop up too many with the Mac-10, the trades are good. And only losing 1 gun there is phenomenal for Arcade's money. They're in a great start.
Yeah, well, back into the swing of things, though, is BNK, so let's not get overly excited just yet.
I don't think we're going to really care too much about having money for AWP or not. If anything, I'm probably expecting Damio to AWP.
Why?
Because he's the only one I've seen AWP.
Okay. Maybe.
Have you seen anyone else AWP?
Not really. I'm almost wondering if they're just not even going to play an AWPer.
Yeah, they probably won't most of the time. Here's the outside wall of smokes into uppers pressure, which is just trying to actually pull a little bit of reaction from the CT side away from Yard so that they can find this lurk timing. Unfortunately, spotted there is Kobe. They almost hit the lurk timing. It was a very clever play from Arcade there, but doesn't quite work out for them.
This is perhaps the straw that breaks the camel's back for the solid start. Plus, though, on the off angle that wasn't really expected, but has it also kind of in a weird position. So, in the end, he's able to calibrate onto that one nicely, and it's kind of one thing after the other going wrong for Arcade in this round. Might well find another solid timing here, and does get that job done nicely. Apoc has got no idea that your Wombat's up on top of Hut, and he'll finish things off nicely. So 3 apiece is the scoreline.
You can see what Arcade was trying to go for there, though. Like, the wall of smokes across the outside, trying to pull the rotation towards the ramp room or down vent. Then they're working Annex side. Put that util pressure into upper, smoke to Annex, and a molly to top heart and a flash. Just trying to pull the Annex rotator away or the Heaven player into upper and sneak that rotate in through ladder base. And it almost works for them. Really using their utility to try and push and pull the rotations for BNK and pull reactions from the CT side. Breakdown vent is void. That's a good position to be found early on here for the T side. And every round is kind of a different look so far from Arcade. They've got some great depth on this T side, it looks like. Apoc dart on the AWP. Don't mind it. Something that we saw for a while in, I think it was his Chiefs era, was it? You can see BNK boosting Brace up. to anticipate the join up with the vent player. Common play for the T side is to mix in a ramp contact in the mid to late round and end lowers. So you can see BNK trying to play around that a little.
Slow round this one from Arcade. Gonna have to get a bit of a wriggle on with only 35 seconds left. They don't have a lot of control at all. And they're gonna have to cut corners. So Race is gonna be able to get himself an easy 2K. No one even checking on top of the boxes. Apocdad not too keen on trying to trade with the AWP, and I don't blame him. It's now 3-on-5, and Arcade, they've got nowhere really to go. Just got to scramble into one of these sites and hope that they can make something work, but it's never going to when you've got this many members on A, and BNK, a very comfortable round win.
Yeah, I think BNK outplaying Arcade quite heavily there. You know, Arcade did a good job getting the player down vent, but after you get the player down vent, it's like only so many different approaches you can do to end the round in a simple way. You know, like you either wall of smokes across outside and go down secret, which they actually did wall of smoke across outside, or you kind of go through ramp room in the mid to late round. And you can see BNK playing quite heavily around the mid to late round ramp room take to meet up into lower. They boosted Race up, and that just kind of ended the round from there. So it was a nice little one-man rotate there from BNK. Small little adaptation that ends up winning them around, and that's the kind of experience that a team like BNK has on Nuke. Nice little reaction to the vent shot that wins them the round quite easily. And I think for Arcade, you can see what they're trying to go for. In every one of these rounds, they have this approach, but I think where they're really falling apart is just they're over-complicating things a little bit. They're being a little bit too tricky here and there, rather than relying a bit more on the fundamentals, getting in there, taking the tools, and trading out. Feels like they're trying to find the perfect read every time, that rather than just being in a good position. Again, into the ramp room, which is exactly what they did on their last eco. This time it's getting a bit messy though, and Damio does end up losing the AWP. 2 kills for Arcade on the eco is a pretty good result, and as expected, you're going to see Damio on the AWP for BNK, so we'll see how he goes with it.
Yeah. 3-7 at the moment with the rifle, so, you know, might as well change it up.
Whoever's having a shit game, just throw him on the AWP, I guess.
Yeah. Look, I'll tell you what, I have been very, very, very kind to Damio in probably the last couple of months. I've said a lot of positive things about him, so, you know, goes both ways.
He's alright. His brother's pretty good.
Yeah. I would love to see them play on the same team. I think that would be a really cool storyline. But not there yet. Who knows? I think the trajectory Damio's been taking over the last 6 months would have him in that direction at the moment, but we'll see how things play out. Either way,
I mean,
BNK
another
looking a bit more
different
solid.
approach for Arcade here. They are wall of smoke across outside. They've left Void on the lobby lurk, and they're just committing down into lower. Like, again, every T-side round, it's been a different look for Arcade here.
Again, slow and steady wins the race, though. Void's going to be left up on top of lobby to keep an eye on things over there. Try and cut off a rotation here or there, or maybe catch someone looking for info. Foggers does get that entry. And it'll be Arcade starting to work their way into the site nicely.
Yeah.
Your Wombats kept at bay by the molly.
This is perfect, though. Like, great util usage to shut off the Megaton angles. Nice open plant. Big read coming in from Megaton. It's a pretty one-dimensional retake here for BNK. This usually doesn't go well for CT.
No, especially not with this kind of a setup from Arcade. Flash is going to go through. A little bit of milling around going on from Arcade. They've doubled up. I'm not sure that's going to be expected. Apocdad is just going to wait patiently here, and surely no one will check him if they even get the time to. And of course, Addict's not quite prepared for it. Damio doesn't quite hit it with the P250, and that'll be another round for Arcade.
Yeah. very difficult to retake that lowest site from one direction. You usually need to kind of pinch or have control of like windows or decon or something like that as CT. They gave it a really good crack though, has to be said. I think partially just due down to the firepower difference, but even BNK can't complete that disadvantageous retake. Round 10 is going to be a swing round here. Both teams 1900 loss bonus, no money to fall back on. So let's see what they go. Close position under silo. Probably going to be unchecked. See if the trigger discipline pays off here. Actually doesn't opt to, but Addict's always good for 2, isn't he?
More often than not. And in this game, considering he's 11 to 5, he's actually good for a little bit more than 2 on average. There's Damio chiming in with the AWP, and this round has kind of fallen apart for Arcade. They don't get much of a chance to do anything here. Brace will spot out at least one of the last remaining 2. So he will have to give up control of ramp room and give Damio that responsibility.
Yeah, and Arcade just not really trading very favorably, unfortunately. That is the firepower diff that you get from the side of BNK. These players more than good enough to multi-frag. And I think Arcade, look, they've got already some decent rounds out of this T side on Nuke, but firepower-wise at the moment, not really able to go pound for pound with BNK so far in the server.
Not an easy one for Brace there. They're expecting an extra player around behind the silos as well, but your Wombat will get the job done. And in the end, it's a pretty comfortable round win for BNK once again. 3 guns through is pretty good. Arcade broken. They'll get one more bite of the cherry before the end of the half, but this could end up being something that starts to blow out a little bit for BNK now.
Yeah, money's kind of run out here for Arcade. You're able to get a good buy into the last round of the half. Bomb plant will definitely help out a lot if they can get it. Definitely buy them a full Volta U2 rather than trying to make do with limited grenades or going down to Galils. 4 rounds is okay. If they can get 5, that would be even better. I mean, this is the thing. You see maps from Damio where he looks kind of sharp on the orb, but he's... Ooh.
What? Harry Potter!
Harry Potter! The one who lived.
The boy who lived.
No, it's... Okay.
The Juan?
Is that what,
yeah, I see. I get it. The Juan.
That's a crisp clean block if I've ever seen one. Really nothing in this round for Arcade. If they get straight 5 together on this T side, I think they'll be happy with that, to be honest. Like, I think the overall macro approach from Arcade has been good. Like, the calling's been decent. It's just like they're not shooting back as well as they need to.
No. Well, it doesn't help that they've only got the pistols in this round, and hopefully we'll get to see a little more in this final round. I mean, look, if they get 5 on T side, I don't think that we can be too disappointed with that. That would not be a bad shout.
Buy comes through. The lack of a bomb plant costs them a fair few grenades in this round, which is gonna kind of affect their ability to play like a very slow late round kind of scenario, which you've seen them do a couple of times. So they'll have to lean on something a little more simple, most likely. Gonna be outside wall of smokes to kick things off. Brace is going to drop into lower and blow door open. Looks like it's an uppers timing to try to make something happen in the mid round. Nice nade to kick things off for BNK, and Foggers gets dropped before the round even starts, really.
Yeah, your Wombat having a great time on this A-side hold. He's really been the standout for BNK so far. He's got a little more work to do, but Kobe, being the last man standing, perhaps won't really be able to show us too much in a 1v4, you'd think.
No one really giving him anything. They've just left ramp room completely open. They're quite happy to give him the lowest site, and they'll just probably retake together with really tight spacing. In fact, your Wombat even dropping down to kind of preempt the lowest timing pretty nicely.
Hasn't quite spotted him out just yet. Kobe's taking as much time as he can to clear out as much space as possible, but there's just too much to clear. So 8-4 will be the first half score. So jumping back into the second half, and it really hasn't been anything too untoward today. 8-4 for BNK. You know, a little bit of an up and down, bumpy kind of first half for Arcade. They got a little bit done. They showed us what they can provide, but they weren't able to do it on a consistent basis. And so now they're going to have to get it done on that CT side. First port of call, of course, will be a pretty big pistol round win here for Arcade if they want to get this ball rolling.
Yeah, see if they can cover this game a bit more on the defense. Foggers trying to play with confidence. Cops are goosh, but at least will be allowed to live there by BNK, who are getting themselves ready for this uppers hit.
There's one flash. There's two flashes. TriPlus just forced away from the heaven angle for a moment, and that's been enough to allow BNK out, but not before Foggers has been able to chime in with one. Bomb plan will go down. It's 4 on 5, and BNK are scurrying for a bit of site control. Hazard creeps his way forward into the corner to play anti-flash. Pretty standard position, and it's exactly for things like that. There's the flash through from TriPlus, which I think might have actually blinded his teammate. Either way, Hazard is able to strike for a double, which is exactly what he needed to do, but somebody else is going to have to get a bit of work done, and it's on to Brace. Bomb's not planted for him. They haven't spotted him out. Finally, they do. And it just took a little bit too long for Brace to get in position. Nice, decisive retake from Arcade. Gets the job done.
Yeah, good stuff from Foggers as well. Really quite heavily contesting that execute, getting a lot of info and a chance at a pick. And even on 12 HP after he cops the goose, he's able to actually find Damien on the cross from Heaven's side. And then, as you mentioned, just good decisive retake from Arcade. Great flash from backside of the ladder base to help the CTs flood out of Heaven, even if they do get blinded by it a little bit. So did the Ts, for the most part. But with the bomb plant, BNK will force round 2 here. 3 rifles, 2 Deegs, 2 belts of util. Initial wave of util going to be anti-rush protocols here for Arcade, and BNK for the moment will have to respect that.
Well, not a lot of moving and shaking going on from BNK so far. Had a bit of a look into lobby. Now they're going to start to explore outer with the small amounts of util that they do have.
Yeah. I think they wanted to go for the ramp side play there, but they get shut out by the first wave of util. Now going for plan B. Brace dropped a handful of grenades. Going to be the wall of smoke across the outside. Mollying into secret. Kobe trying to deny entry to secret with his own Molotov. BNK playing close to the smokes here. HE breaking them. But patience for BNK pays off there. They don't lose a pick on the cross.
Yeah, pop flashing through the air as well, just for extra safety. But TriPlus well aware of the rotation that is being made here by Arcade, so he's just going to jump spot. And he does indeed get that information. Now it's on to Addict to try to find that entry. And maybe it's not just Addict, the whole team is there. TriPlus has done well to get one, and he has slowed them down. Void will have to be a little scared here, though. He'll be dropped by Brace from behind with that Deagle. It'll be an upgrade for him. Famas in hand now. Foggers on the wrap in behind through Vent. It's a bit of a chaotic round, really. There's a lot going on. But BNK seems to have steadied the ship, and Hazard is starting to get it back on course. It was looking quite disastrous for a moment. Maybe Kobe can still cause a problem, but he is not the iceberg in the water this time around. It's 9-5. BNK will pull off the force bite.
Hard reset on that CT money there for Arcade in a game where they didn't really get enough done in the first half. Is going to be a bit of a bitter pill to swallow. Couple scouts coming out, just scouts and upgraded pistols to try to cause an upset. If that doesn't work out, they're going to be reset into a pretty lackluster buy for the first gun round in round 17. Very little room for error on the comeback unless they can convert this force bite. And so far, it's not looking like that's an opportunity. Addict just out in the open, taking duels on yard and not missing.
Yeah, Void will tuck himself in the corner with that Deagle, but he's going to have to look for something. You know, if there's going to be much to say about this round for Arcade, someone's going to have to get active. BNK certainly are not doing that. They've got that advantage. They know that Arcade are going to want to go and get a little busy. So they more or less just slowed things down. Working their way toward B as a wolf pack and really ensuring that they cross the T's, dot the I's. Use as much of that util as they need to get around safely. And so far, so good for BNK.
Brace harassed. He's going to drop on Heaven's side. So Lurk dealt with, but unfortunately the main issue is the fact that they've lost control of lowers here, but Arcade. That will probably just prompt a save. See if they can get some more damage done in round 16. Void can hold on to the hero AK, drop a Deagle over. gives them an outside shot at winning the next round as well.
Ten to 5 though.
Yeah, I mean, it's CT side comeback, right? For the underdog team. It's probably over this game, unfortunately. Very favorable scenario for BNK, winning with 4 guns, surviving here after winning the round 2 force. Puts their economy in a good position. Arcade has very little room for error, and BNK will have plenty if they can close out this next round relatively cleanly as well. They'll be up 11-5 with a good economy behind them, 2 or 3 gun rounds in the back pocket. And Arcade, on the other hand, will likely go into round 17 with like one of those 4.5k kind of buys. So no warp, limited util, nuke CT side. Not going to be an easy road back into this one.
No, sir. It's about to get more difficult, as this will more than likely be the 11th for B&K. But maybe Apoc Dud can do something interesting with that scout. Not sure that he's ever really been one to join the awesome scout squad. Bit of a throwback there, but he's going to have a crack, and no real opportunity so far. It's just flashed off the line, and now B&K are already down through secret and getting in towards that B bomb site, trying to clear out vents. Again, util usage has been pretty solid from them. Arcade not really been given too many opportunities here. The vent player wasn't cleared. That's awkward for Mr. Hazard. Eventually, it'll be stabilized.
Oh, Apoc Dud's here. He's just going to walk into Damio, unfortunately. Thought he had the timing. Kobe's cleared out a lower. And B&K, despite a bit of a surprise from Vloggers in the vent, who somehow found his rotation timing around to Megaton here. Shouldn't be having too many issues. AK gets involved far too late in the round, and that's another round where B&K, 4 alive, pretty cleanly deal with that one. Try plus 4k. I mean, this is what I was talking about, right? We've got a CT buy, no kits, 2 mollies, very limited flashes. You've skipped at least a smoke. Very kind of unfavorable scenario to be closing out this game in Nuke for Arcade, or closing the scoreline gap very much, but we'll see what they've got.
Oh, there's a toe in it. Don't know that Foggers has spotted it. Maybe it doesn't matter, because the work is really being done on outer at the moment from B&K. Again, that wall of smokes will be set up, and again, the approach is in through secret. Spam is not going to connect. And so B&K are across quite safely, and Triplus has the same job to do, jump spotting, but he's losing players all over the map. Finally, Brace will drop. But it is still 4 on 3. Your Wombat's going to catch another rotator. That's an easy kill for him. Triplus has way too much to do here. He needs to get probably 3 to win the round. There's the first, and the second, and the third. Okay, hang on. We might be on for something now. Well done from Triplus. But your Wombat in the clutch, 18 and 7. He has been the man to beat. Fogger's waiting on a nice line, but your Wombat's going to win it anyway. 12 to 5. And for all the heroics from Triplus, it is not enough.
It's an instant reset on the CT economy. Attack timeout. Rubbing a bit of salt in the wound there for B&K. And your Wombat playing against the team he played for before. Seems to have a bit of a point to prove.
Yeah.
This last force buy for Arcade, leaving a fair bit to be desired, unfortunately. Has not been their day here on Nuke. Lost a couple of important swing rounds that didn't go their way, and in general just have not been fragging hard enough pound for pound with B&K, which, you know, at the end of the day, CS is a game about shooting the other the team, but also in terms of the macro aspect of things, has a pretty big impact on your economy and your ability to kind of consistently string rounds together. That's why you're seeing Arcade really kind of struggle through this game quite a bit. Util on outside, BNK quite heavily committing to that. Not even a lobby lurk from them this round. Just wanting to play as a bit of a pack. They've got better util, better guns. And they're going to walk their way into Warehouse. As well as Secret.
That's worked out nicely. BNK not really putting a foot wrong. I mean, his T-side has been pretty clean from them so far. And you'd expect that that will be pretty much the case for the rest of the map, because I think it might be ending here. Arcade had a couple of interesting moments in that first half, but just haven't really gotten the ball rolling on this CT side at all. Fogger's going to have to go hunting in the 3-on-5, but as is ever the case, BNK are ready for that. He's got one more on top of A. Can't quite finish Void off. But there's a nade, perhaps, that'll do it. Either way, it's job done from BNK, 13-5. And a very comfortable win for them to start the night off for ESL Challenger League in Oceania. So, Arcade going to have to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, I think it really just came down to kind of the firepower difference. Even Wombat coming in as a stand-in